So, the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs and real estate investors like us, ones who want to grow our businesses and who are tired of paying for really expensive alternative lending, how do we tap into the most inexpensive money available and do it without the hassle of typical borrowing? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. I'm Merrill Chandler, and welcome to the Are You Effable podcast.
Wow. Hey, guys. This is Brad Burnett, and I am here with the founder and CEO of CreditSense and FundingHackers.com, Merrill Chandler, and this is the Are You Effable podcast. This is the first podcast.
First time.
Guys, I'm here because I'm going to help be a host, and I'm going to actually ask Merrill questions so we can find out where in the hell Are You Effable even came from. And for me, it's an exciting opportunity because I've been with Merrill for 10 years. I have worked with him on all sorts of projects, and this is one that has been just eating away at us for years to be able to get the content that we have only shared with our high net worth clients. And we're going to start bringing it all to you guys for free. And I got to tell you, we're going to dive into the funny, the amazing, the dark a little bit.
The dark,
and
definitely the
guys,
dark.
Yeah, definitely, right? And for those of you guys who know about the reference, this origin story, it might be from the DC universe because it does get a little dark and it is definitely wild. So I'm excited to be here. Merrill, I want to ask the first question right out of the gate. Where in the world did fundability even come from? Are you effable?
Are you effable? Right? Even the term fundable, right, has this goes back 25 years, right? I've been doing this a hell of a long time, and like he said, we've reserved all of this awesome, amazing technology for our coaching clients, right? But the bottom line is that way back in the day, I moved out from California after selling interests in another in an empire that I helped build. I come back to Utah, and I meet a couple of guys who are like, they introduced me to this strange concept called credit repair. Now, you got to remember, in 92, this is the wild, wild west. There are all kinds of people getting ripped off, taken advantage of. And when he showed me how you could actually write a dispute letter and delete a negative item, I was wowed. Guys, I didn't know what a credit bureau is. You guys are all standing on the shoulders of giants, right? There is no... Credit was not a thing for me or the country at that time.
And so this guy who introduced you to this concept, credit repair, what was the next step?
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty big step.
No, it's a huge step. So his name was Steve, and I'll maintain his privacy, but Steve shows me this concept, and I'm like, I just came back from building another empire, right, from California. I'm like, why are you not doing this across the country? Because I thought that if you delete negative items, you have positive items, and you can have anything you want in the credit world, right? That was my mistake.
There's a lot of people that still think that. So
that's why we're here, and we're not fundable as a result of believing that belief. Later,
but that's for another time.
Yeah.
So Steve, you. And then
other guys came on board a little bit later. Jason came on board. John came on board a little later. But I said, let's blow this thing up across the country. And so we established what would Lexington Law, right? And Lexington Law was the vehicle for being able to do credit repair across all 50 states rather than just in Utah.
Well, and today they're the largest credit repair firm in the country, right?
Total. Yep. Legit, amazing, and they still do credit repair. Write a dispute letter or send a code to the bureaus, get it disputed, and hope something comes off, right? But I was there for 5 years, and during that time, I learned that everything is not what I thought it was when I got started in the business, right?
Now, let me jump in real quick because you were there for 5 years, but you had a unique opportunity during those 5 years that most people will never ever have.
Yeah.
Even people who work at the bureaus, even people who work at FICO, most of them will never have this opportunity, and I think that's critical to understanding where where this little concept came from.
Where it all came from. Because I was able to review literally thousands, tens of thousands of credit profiles, right? Credit reports, befores and afters, seeing the results of deletions, seeing the results of what credit repair could do. Couple of things. We were madly successful in deleting unauthorized or unverifiable information from a credit report. So I felt really good, totally in our integrity about keeping our promise to our clients. The promise we didn't make to our clients, and where I started feeling a little unsatisfied with our results, was that our clients were literally sending us more letters and emails saying, how do I now qualify for a mortgage? How can I get a car? We had gotten rid of the negative items, but we had not given them more approvals.
So they were having success, but not getting approved.
Correct. And all of a sudden, and I didn't know, going into credit repair, I think I'm a superhero, right? I was proud of the results that we created for literally thousands and thousands of clients. But the fundings, what we became, what we soon termed fundable, was not happening for the vast majority of the clients. And that is where I started having doubts about the efficacy or being involved just with credit repair alone, right? So after 5 years and not seeing these kind of results, that's when I made the break with Lexington. Love those boys over there. They've done amazing for themselves. And I wanted to try. Now, here's what's funny. I thought other types of dispute efforts, deeper dispute efforts, would make the clients more fundable. I didn't still know.
And so that's what I was going to ask you is you 5 years, you leave Lexington, you start working on your own, and is that where fundability was created?
A deeper, darker hole started being formed, because no matter what I hang on.
We need a cord to charge.
Will you, in my bag, will you pull out the charge cord? Guess what? We're staying live, guys. My battery's about to run out.
9%.
My battery's running out. So we're gonna plug it in. So when I left Lexington, I thought better disputes.
Where's the answer?
LexisNexis and going after public records more and all these different things. I thought a better credit identity alone would create more fundability or make them more qualify for approvals. Still didn't know the game well enough. I had no idea yet why my clients were not able to qualify for the credit they were after.
Yeah. So literally you went from not being able to be approved to a more in-depth system and not being approved following the credit repair path.
Credit repair path alone.
So how did you get to fundability? What was it that brought you to this, as you refer to it, the epiphany of fundability? How did we get to that?
So, at the time, I had my credit repair firm, and I got divorced from my lovely woman, different paths. And like some people do, not everybody, but my path took me on a very interesting turn of events, right? So I was raised very conservative, and like a good little, like a slingshot, right? The tighter and tighter and tighter I got wound up, all of a sudden when it released, I kind of soared, and some would say in the wrong direction. I don't believe there are many accidents in the world, if any, and my path literally brought me to the greatest revelation of my professional life, and we've been able to help literally thousands and thousands of people as a result of this. So you're welcome. But it is a dark story.
I mean, yeah, we certainly can't regret it, right? Because it brought us to this moment with these cool T-shirts. But dive in a little more to that. So you're in a position where you get divorced.
Yep.
And so this
I'm going
dark
off
path.
the rails.
Off the rails. I know what off the rails means. What does off the rails mean for you?
Let's put it this way. It included what is officially called in government and police circles controlled substances. All right. So
slow down. So you started making them. You started
using and sharing them.
So you started partying.
Yes, partying way too hard. And I got to tell you, in all candor and honesty, like I said, the glorious results. But going off the rails, I was soon arrested for possession of controlled substances. All right. The problem was I also had, might as well just share it all. So this is back in 2000, right?
Yep.
So I was a Y2Ker. I also had all of the, I had, shall we break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying plug into, there is a extension cord right behind you.
Yeah, this is as far as it goes.
And, okay.
I was gonna unplug it and plug it into here, but there's something plugged in right now.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, it's the light. Okay, so 1 second.
All right. So I have another.
Did you pause it?
Well, I'm just gonna do this.
Oh, here. Let me do it.
Yes. I can't even see it.
That was awesome.
But did you?
And we're off. We got our cords fixed. We're back up on our battery now, and we're ready to go. So Merrill, you mentioned, and I want to come back to it because you mentioned controlled substances, and I know my brain, when I hear that, I'm immediately like, wait a minute, there's this kind, there's that kind. Like this could be a million different possibilities, right? Or at least 10. So what do you mean by controlled substances?
Well, I was in party mode, right? And the only one that I knew that just elicited amazing party experience was ecstasy at the time, right? So I had ecstasy on me, and I was about sharing the love, and that was my second huge mistake: using, then sharing.
So wait. So sharing, like you wanted everybody around you to have fun, so you had a bunch.
Yeah. The law enforcement calls it distribution. I called it sharing, right? I don't want to minimize my error. I'm just saying that in my twisted mind at the time, 20 years ago, I found myself wanting to share the love. Right? And
you wanted the people around you to have fun.
Yes.
You are the same today. Like literally, Are You Effable came from wanting the people around you to be able to share in that experience.
That's fair.
So, I'm glad we're putting that energy in a good direction.
Now we're putting it into a good direction because I don't want anything for me that I don't want for my loved ones, for the people who share the vision that I have, and for clients, students, everybody else. So you're right. It's my way in the world. It just took a little darker turn.
Took a little darker turn. But that wasn't the end of it, right? Because I know this story.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So
there's a little more to this.
So the problem was that when I was driving to go to a party out of state, I was arrested on federal property at the airport in Salt Lake City. So now this took all these things to federal instead of state jurisdiction.
So you had all of your sharing,
all my sharing,
going to the airport
to get on a plane.
And that's where they
that's where they grabbed me. And I share this for my stupidity and the irony. You guys, many of you know me already, clients, students. I had them stored in a vitamin E bottle. I apologize. That's just an important little factoid to show my absolute blindness and stupidity.
Well, and I'm not going to argue with that. But I will say this. For those of you who already know Merrill, and those of you who are going to get to know Merrill, you will find out that he always plays full out. It's always 100%. There's no middle ground. It's always 100%. And so you get busted on federal land at an airport with your vitamin E bottle, and then you end up spending how much time in federal prison?
Yes. So here's the problem. Before I get to the federal prison, it's so when the officers were checking everything in my car, I, trying to be a good citizen, said, oh, by the way, there is a sporting rifle underneath the back seat. Now, by sporting rifle, this is nomenclature, as you'll come to understand in I build language to describe things perfectly. This sporting rifle was actually an AK-47 with two 30-round clips, safe, registered, all legal, but happened to be in the same 5 square feet as the ecstasy bottle.
Okay, now I know I'm not the only one that might be envisioning Scarface right now. So
say hello to my little friend.
So help me understand. Why did you have an AK-47?
Because I was no longer. I was a gun enthusiast. I had one there because at lunch we would go out at Lexington at my own law firm, it wasn't a law firm, it was credit repair. We would go out and we go to the shooting range and we would empty out two clips, right? And it was just a blast. We had a fun shooting, great tension release, etc. The problem is that the search warrant was not just for my car. The search warrant was also for my house, where another 8 AK-47s were stored in.
Because Merrill likes to share fun.
I share fun and I go all out, and that was.
Now I want to clear
egregious.
I want to clear two things up real quick. One, Merrill loves to share fun. Like I said, he always plays full out. And if you haven't emptied around, I was in the military. I was a medic. I was with the Marines. If you haven't ran a belt clip through a 50 cal or emptied a machine gun,
you haven't lived.
It's therapeutic. Let's just say it's therapeutic. So I get it. But I want to be really clear, and this is actually a little more serious. Were the guns in any way involved with the crime that you were initially being researched in, or
no
researched? What do they call it? Investigated.
No, there was no relationship. In fact, I was sentenced to 8.5 years in federal prison because you get X amount of time for every gun in the location where the controlled substances are. But the judge, there's a thing called a downward departure because the federal rules there's mandatory minimums, right? But 30 plus people wrote letters to the judge saying, I was part of both activities. They were never associated. I had people write in, referral partners in my credit business. I mean, mortgage brokers were standing up for me saying, I have shot this gun with Merrill. We didn't do ecstasy. There was no relationship. I wasn't defending my turf. I was just partying like an idiot.
So it wasn't say hello to my little friend.
It was not.
Okay.
It was not. You just made the reference,
I know that's why I'm bringing it back around.
Thank you.
Because I didn't want anybody going. Wait
all of a sudden, we just lost 75% of our listeners.
You're just standing over the top of your stairs. 2 guns. Going.
Yeah, there was none of that. The guns were completely separate, and she gave me a downward departure of 5 years. I ended up with a 3.5-year term in the in federal prison. Because she had compelling evidence that they were not related. The interesting thing is that bore in mind, it's one of the first places where I learned that the American justice system, as well as the financial system, is based on who has the most documentation wins. And I had all kinds of people stand up for me, which for them, if you ever watch this, mad love for all the support from my family, my children. I broke their hearts and their lives. It was the most sobering experience of my life. The problem was it was the most illuminating phase of my life that I've ever been in, and is a direct result of why we're all here today.
Well, and that's what I wanted to bring up next is that, truthfully, all of us listening to this podcast, all of the clients that you've helped, over 94, I'm just a shameless plug right here, over $94 million in fundings for your clients, right?
In the last 4 years.
In the last 4 years. and we have more time working with clients that we just didn't have the ability or even the forethought to track because it wasn't a part of our business. So all of us, everyone listening, actually should be thankful. As thankful as you are for those people who wrote you letters, we should be that thankful for you because that sobering moment, that moment that suddenly became the epiphany.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why we're here today.
Yeah.
That's why we have what we have. So tell me about that because all of it, we got real serious here, which is good. It's okay. It's going to be real every time, guys. There's no this is us, right?
You cannot. Yeah. This is a thing.
So, arrested, you're saved a little bit. Not completely, saved a little bit.
3.5 years
you got
a
some
hell a
grace.
long time.
Yeah.
But I did not. But thank the he who has the most documentation wins, and all of my loved ones and even referral partners in my credit repair business at the time showed up for me because it was true. I wasn't some gangster. I was playing on the wrong side of the fence. And I also happened to love guns at the same time and was foolish enough to put them in the same place at the same time.
Well, now, let me ask you, foolish enough, or did you just not know?
Well,
did you?
No, I was blithely and ignorantly, and we're going to cover this in other podcasts, guys, but we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
I didn't have a clue that those two things, because in my mind, it was pure intent. I was purely partying, and I was purely shooting guns. Right. That isn't how law enforcement and the laws are written. Let's judge Merrill's intent, right? Yeah. So,
well, and thankfully you had a judge that was able to take some
her heart
grace and give some latitude because she could judge your intent. Right? That's what she
called it, a confluence of circumstances, and I adore her to this day to have the ability, because it is rare. You have to, as a federal court judge, you have to account for downward departures. She had to defend me to her judiciary board. That's huge. The bomb for me, and she had to explain her decision.
Yeah. Well, and so thank all the powers that be that's how it came to pass, and thank that you still got smacked a little bit. No. 3.5 years
that's
of
no
your
joke.
life.
That's
and
no joke.
So in that 3.5 years, you're there. You're in a what? 8x8, 12x12.
It's a 6x8 cell. I was held because of the proceedings and everything. I was held in the Salt Lake County Jail for 14 months before I was then shipped off to Colorado and ultimately to Minnesota to another institution out there before I came home. Basically, a year and change in each one of those institutions. But what was interesting is because I had guns on my rap sheet, and there are no accidents, guys, because if I would have just gotten one of the little blue suits that you get for being low risk, low this and that and the other, I would have been out in the pod, in the yard, the rec center, all that stuff. I was locked down for 18 hours a day because because a weapon was included in my charges. Do you know what it's like to sit in a 6x8 cell? 18 hours a day. Most of you.
I'm going to venture most of us don't.
Sorry.
Do tell.
It's not pretty, and it is. And
what do you do?
Okay. So
what do you do?
were allowed. We had commissary, so I learned how to make jailhouse burritos. That they are a thing. You've heard of it on TV or perhaps, but it's a thing, and they're delicious. More importantly, I had a golf pencil because those are believed that they are not
non-lethal
instruments. Yeah, okay, that's the word. Non-lethal. I had a golf pencil, a yellow pad, and time. I got to read anything I wanted. Even Jason, one of my partners from Lexington, was like, "Merrill, tell me what you need. I will ship straight from Amazon. I'll ship you books, anything that you need." Let's at least hook you up and keep you as comfortable as possible. He put money on my books. Mad props. I love Jason to this day for how he showed up for me.
I was gonna bring that up because you talk about leaving Lexington, but you and Jason are still good friends.
Yeah,
you've gone to Hawaii together.
Yeah, scuba diving. On his, because he has a bomb ass dive boat, and we had some. we've still shared amazing times. But he showed up for me in a way that that nobody else, except for Dion, who is also part of Lexington. Dion actually brought my kids, my former wife, but brought my children, flew them all out to Colorado so that they could come and visit me while I was inside.
Wow.
I mean, so I may be a crazy MFer, but whatever. The people who love me, sometimes I don't even know why, but you guys, thank you for all the ways in which you showed up for me, my team. There's not a member of our team. Many of our clients, most of our clients know about at least the highlights of this. Yeah. But we just wanted to put it.
Well, because it's never been a secret,
no,
right?
No,
it's something like, I mean, I feel like the first time I met you in 2008, August or end of July 2008, like that was part of the first conversation.
No, it is, because I want people to know where I come from, right? I got no shame in this. What I do is have mad lessons and mad epiphanies.
There you go.
Right?
So back to that.
Yes.
You got a yellow pad, you got a golf pencil, and 18 hours.
So, and by the way, you can get bored of reading all day, every day, right? So one of the things that we did, and I learned it from Jesse. We're still friends to this day. We met in the Salt Lake County Jail, and we had this huge wall that was just blank, and golf pencils. And so he was a drawer, an artist, and we put lists of the hottest women in the world. I mean, we just filled this board with everything. It was like our artist board, right?
This isn't the How We Started Maxim magazine version.
The
Merrill, Are You Effable?
Yeah, but
could be similar.
Yeah, could be the top 100 Are You Effables. So but here's the magic. With all of this blank canvas, it was a painted wall. With all of this canvas, anybody who knows me knows that I have massive bandwidth, and that bandwidth doesn't go away when I'm sitting in a cell for 18 hours a day. It just doesn't. And so I knew I'd be getting out because I'd been sentenced for 3.5 years, and I wanted to. I still loved the business that I was in. I want people to. No one gets to very few people get to fulfill their dreams without using someone else's money to leverage and become and get that house, get that car, or business lines of credit, grow their businesses, commercial. Nobody does really any successful financial ventures without OPM, without other people's money. And I knew I was coming back out to the world I just wanted to get back in my business because I've loved it. I've loved it since the day I found out about credit bureaus and credit repair, right? But that's when I got to think about how unsuccessful I had been, how we'd been at Lexington, how we'd been at my other firm, in getting people the things that they want, getting the credit that they need to live the lives they want to live. And that's where I started percolating on all of this. And the epiphany, or when I came to it, everything that I started noticing was recalling back those befores and afters, because I have a great memory when it comes to optimization. And I started noticing those patterns, putting them together, and I began to use that wall, guys, as my mad scientist kind of like.
Right, what's that? There's that movie with Anthony Hopkins, I think it is, where he's crazy and he's writing on the walls.
Yeah, right.
Right?
And Good Will Hunting
comes.
A Beautiful Mind. Good Will Hunting comes to mind, where he's on the board. He's a janitor and he just walks in, solves the problem, and leaves. This was my Good Will Hunting moment, my Beautiful Mind moment. And I am a little off kilter to be able to see.
We thought guns and drugs were okay.
Why not be a little whack? So anyway, so I started saying, what are the components of that? And we won't get into the details, but what are the components of a profile? And I started seeing what a score is versus what a profile is, and revolving accounts, installment loans, identity, all these different things that contributed or took away from, and it just started coming to me. There has to be a way to shape a credit profile so that lenders look at it and go, yes, I want that. Deleting negative items wasn't it. I'd proven that now up to then, 92 to 2000 was literally 8 years. I'd proven that no matter how hard I dispute an account, it's like still beating the damn horse, right? It's dead, Merrill. I'm like, I need more from it, right? So that's when I
horses were harmed in the filming of the recording of this episode.
Oh my God. That's awesome. So that was where it started. It's called accretion in physics, but all of a sudden one bubble, a thought bubble, and another thought bubble started conjoining and connecting all of these dots, which I am genius at. I will own my zone of genius. I'll own my stupidity, but I will own my zone of genius. And connecting those dots, and they were not always evident. I was connecting things that, hold up, well, what about this? Well, how old does an account have to be? Technical, but holy shit, I started creating this thing about fundability versus.
Well, and I think that's a great spot to fast forward a little bit, because you saw these dots, right? You connected these pieces that seemed moderately or completely unrelated at just a glance, right?
Right.
But we fast forward, you mastered the fundability optimization for personal profiles, right? To help people get houses, cars, things like that, and did that from the entire time I've known you, yes. Right? Which is a decade at this point.
I came out of prison knowing exactly how I wanted to practice, and that was, I spent 3 or 4 years before I met you, right? Got out 2004, beginning of 5. You started. Echelon was working then, and we literally were practicing the optimization model, but just for personal.
Right. For personal. And then the thing, and this maybe we should have mentioned this at the beginning, but it wouldn't have fit, so whatever. Why should people even be listening to this podcast? Why are you the expert on fundability? Well, fast forward from 2003, whatever it was, or 2, when this was the epiphany hit, and you started writing on the wall.
The theory of it.
Fast forward to 2016. I think it was April.
Yes.
Me, you, Hannah.
Yep.
The executive team of CreditSense, right? Which it's fundinghackers.com, powered by CreditSense, just that time. But we got invited for the first time ever to FICO World. You got to sit down and ask over 100 questions.
Yeah.
Of not only the score developers, but their small business scoring system people. Yep. Like, if you've heard our presentation, either he or I have done it, you know this story. Yeah. And out of that, so many
80%.
At least 80% of the assertions, of the assumptions, of the dots being connected were confirmed.
They were confirmed by FICO at that conference.
And confirmed while their NDA guy was in the room saying, no, we can't share that with you. That's our secret sauce. So they did not disclose any of their industry secrets, but confirmed the entire process.
Yeah. I mean, remember Ethan in our conversation? I can't tell you this, but you're not wrong.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I cannot say the words, but yes.
But that's probably really close, or that's about right on. And how many times was there, hey, don't quote me?
Yeah.
don't quote me. So I mean, I know I took a big leap, right? We ran past a huge part of what.
But it was practice. We were practicing for years personal optimization. But the main thing was we were proving up. But it was still just anecdotal evidence. I couldn't take it to court and say, I couldn't take it to a patent office and say, yes, 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 because there was no external validation of the model. We were literally saying, your revolving accounts need to do this, your installment loans need to do this. But but our clients were not just raising their scores; they were getting all the mortgages that we wanted, everything we had wanted for them. They were now qualifying for, and I was a happy camper.
And massive success, but also brought us to the point where we hit our wall, right?
Yeah.
Because here we are as a company helping all these people get funded for the things they're after. And you wanted to expand what we could offer.
Correct.
We were looking at building out this insane platform with this software and all these things. And so I I think it's funny in an ironic,
and a twisted,
way,
dark way.
Right? That
again, dark.
That at that time you go out and are looking to get funding. Now,
our business
our business project. Now, I want you guys to understand something. I'm going to bring this up, and it's going to be really important later. And it may not even be later in this episode, but you'll understand why this is critical. As a business, CreditSense falls in the world of credit repair.
Correct.
Credit repair is considered high risk with lenders.
It's a prohibited business to get funding, like many real estate investors, gamblers.
Well, no, quiet, man. Just close but it's that you went out and had the perfect
personal profile,
right? And got denied and went, what?
I have a perfect profile. Why won't they fund my business?
Yeah.
Because I knew we backstopped the business, but I didn't know that there was such a thing even then as a prohibited business category. We hadn't talked yet to FICO, to Dun & Bradstreet guys saying, could you give us a list of fundable businesses?
Right.
Weird that we got the cousin of that list. And we were just learning so many things, right? That started moving us. But in my consciousness, because my consciousness continues to expand, all of us as a team, we still we don't even know what we don't know, right?
Right.
We didn't realize at the time that this is 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. We didn't know that one of the number one things that our market wants, our demographic wants, are business loans, lines of credit, business credit cards, and we had no clue how to get them.
Right. And that's important because and Merrill let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but when we got that list from Dun & Bradstreet, and it's important to understand where this comes from because we're not just out here making
shit up.
We're right? We got a list of high risk and fundable. We got the full list, and along with credit repair, which getting that denial, I think, was the greatest thing that happened in our business.
Yeah, slap in the face.
It was a huge slap in the face, but it was the thing that made, if we had just...
pissed us off.
Yeah. If we had just been given the loan, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right. We would not be funding literally thousands of other businesses.
Yeah. To over $94 million. Because we would have gone, oh, yeah, no, it's just what it is.
Apply, get approved.
And we would have left an entire... vertical group, an entire, I don't want to say industry, but it's not an industry. Real estate investing, it's an entire entrepreneurial industry.
It's an expression of entrepreneurism.
Yeah.
Right?
We would have left that completely
out of the game.
Yeah, out of the game because we wouldn't have gotten a list that told us that real estate investors are also high risk. We knew they were. Just intuitively, it's a high risk thing, right? But for years, people have gone in as real estate investors and been denied at banks, just like we'd been denied. So we had to find out, okay, we're high risk. How do we get around that?
Yeah.
And so
what's the hack, right?
Yeah, how do you hack it? And so we spent years and hundreds of thousands of dollars
gobs
and
of money.
time and tears and arguments and smoke blown out our ears trying to figure this out. And that's what brought us to what we call the $1 million funding formula.
Right? That became the succinct, literal formula for doing what we were able to do as well, right? I mean, we go first, guys. We get the shit beat out of us in every one of these investigations. I had horrible credit through 2008 to 2010. Knew how to build it up, so I empathize. I know coming out of a hole and how to reestablish a fundable profile.
And why did you have horrible credit?
Because I went. I haven't told you yet. I went to prison for 3.5.
Together.
I went to prison for 3.5 years.
Okay.
But my soft landing.
Okay. So we are not going to talk about the soft landing in this episode.
Fine.
But I'm going to write it down right now. We're also going to learn how to make jailhouse burritos in another episode.
Yes. Oh, totally.
But we will. You're going to need to stay tuned for a soft landing, because if you've ever been in a position or know somebody who's been in a position where they might have to, worst case scenario, file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
We can literally give you some instruction that Merrill was able to implement that made him have a soft landing, and that we've helped other people have soft landings. And a soft landing is a cool thing because it means you're fundable faster.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that.
Hole.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that at another time.
But the point for bringing it up is that I have done everything first, guys. My team comes to us. We all optimize our own profiles so that every single one they're all starting their own funding entities.
Yep.
Even we got 20-year-olds who are starting their funding entities because we have no idea what they're going to become later, and they are going to want these funding entities to work. So the reason we bring it up is you don't have to do all of the heavy lifting on this. The $1 million funding formula is the direct result of us just connecting the fundability dots from personal through business, all validated at FICO. Two FICOs now, and the other member of our you'll meet her in another episode. But Jessica is another member of our executive team. And she is going with me to the next FICO world, right? So we are never not going, and this time we have a podcast. I can't promise it. They haven't said yes yet, but I'm going to ask for the CEO because I know the CEO, Will Ensing, and we're going to ask for Ethan and the SBSS Dave. We have names for them, but I want to do podcasts live there so that we can talk shop about what we've discovered and kind of the direction they're headed, because where they go, I follow. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a leader in fundability across this nation, but where they go, I follow, and I'm just a good little soldier doing everything that they tell us is what's going to be measured.
Yeah. Well, and it puts us in a position where we can be the pointy edge of the spear. Yeah. Right? Because we're at the cutting edge of the technology and bringing it to you guys directly. It also brings up a great point. Like, we were the first consumer-facing business invited to FICO World.
Correct.
And at that time, I mean, Merrill said it earlier. Nothing happens by chance, right? All of these things. He went to prison on a confluence of circumstances, and then fundability came out of a confluence of circumstances where we're in the process of trying to figure it out and trying to figure out how we can be fundable and do it legally, morally, ethically. It's gotta hit all those key points. And so, we're sitting there going, why can't we be fundable? Right. It's that, why not? Why not me?
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't ask why. Ask why not, right? And so we heavy lifting every step of the way, and that's what you can count on from this and every podcast that follows, guys, is that we've never let these cats out of the bag.
Well, and these cats bring us to the next epiphany in this journey, right? Because crushing it in optimization, helping clients with their personal fundability, get smashed on a business loan, and then sit down at a table with one of the representatives of SBSS, and he says those now for us anyway, immortal words.
Immortal words. It'll be on my tombstone.
Right?
80% of all approvals for small business and entrepreneurial businesses come from a qualified personal profile. 80% out of his mouth. What the epiphany we had, because he was sitting right next to me when he said it, what that meant to us was that we have to optimize not for personal mortgages, not for auto loans and credit cards. We had to optimize for business. And all of a sudden, all the other things that we already knew but had not done the math on were like dominoes were falling. Bomb, 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 bomb. Every single domino was falling because that was that was the magic maker for the $1 million funding formula.
Yeah.
That was the massive epiphany that we have to optimize our personal credit profiles, our borrower profiles for lenders that are for business lenders. It could be Chase, but it's a business lending department, and they're not the same as personal. They have different criteria.
Yeah.
And, oh, weird. We happen to know what those are. Funny that.
Right. And with the path, right? The $1 million funding formula has evolved over the years as well.
Every FICO has added new information to it.
It's far more dialed in. We have countless client testimonials. I mean, over 94 million in funding. People are going to say some good things now and then, but it's been. What was that?
That's just
let that slide by.
Yeah, somebody's going to say something.
Right, but that's the like, I don't even know, what do you call it in the DC universe when we know what your origin story is, but that's the pinnacle to this point of your hero's journey.
Yes.
Right?
Where are we going now?
Yeah.
My hero's journey has been, remember, you go through the dark night of the soul, or 3.5 years of it. You learn all the things, but you have that experience, right? You have that thing that says, wait, there is something more than this. But the something more than this that I discovered and that my team, all of us have proven, is that every one of us can have more easier, in an easier way, faster, better than was ever. I mean, we work in markets that don't even believe that they are fundable and will be ever. They're like, I have to pull out all my financials. I have to full doc. I have to have 3 jobs and W-2s to prove up. And like, what if none of that's true? What if none of that is true?
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those moments of just, I guess, massive satisfaction, massive joy to see our clients call and say, I've had this success.
Yeah.
To be able to sit on our team meetings and go, hey, we just increased somebody's credit line by X amount, 100%, or whatever, or by 10%.
Yeah.
Or I mean, we literally on our team meeting this morning, we had one of our good news.
Yes, we always have good news about clients funded, right?
Our critical number is your success. We
Yep.
gauge our business on your success, and one of our critical numbers that was announced today was that one of our clients is buying a business because of what he's been able to do with us. Like that, you guys, it doesn't get better than that.
The lender reviewed his personal profile and is saying yes to a significant investment in capital, right? The loan to buy this business. We'll get all the details later, but holy hell.
Yeah.
Totally able to, because of his personal profile, that it was his borrower profile looked spectacular to the lender to buy the damn business.
So he's in. So it's a yes. Now let me ask you this though. Is anyone else talking about this?
Thankfully, no. There's not another financial advisor, no podcast. We invented this, right? Or I created the theory. My team and I put it into practice. We have been iterating. It is vastly and powerfully successful. And nobody even knows. And we didn't invent the word fundability. We didn't invent the word fundable, but we're the only ones we're the ones who are actually making it a thing in the marketplace. Are you effable? The answer is yes, and you're now part of this movement. If you come to this place, if you go to our website, you go to our boot camp, whatever, however you contact with us, you become a funding hacker. And we want you to be a part of this because nobody else is speaking about this, because nobody has walked that treacherous, horrible, ugly, wonderful, illuminating path that I got to walk, right? And I don't want to put myself with any of the other greats, but
like who?
But do you know so many people, so many movements, so much inspiration came from individuals while they were in captivity or in prison. The Gandhis, the beautiful little girl who was trapped it for years in the Nazi Germany, Anne Frank. Oh, Lord. I may not remember your name, but I know exactly how to get you to fundability. And they're just huge. Socrates. All these amazing philosophies, because it compresses your attention into focusing on the only thing that you have available to you, and that's your mind, right? And so many inspiring stories have come out of that, and I consider myself the least of those, but I do not consider the fundability movement and the transformation that's going to occur between borrowers and lenders as a result, I do not call that small. I know that this is going to be, as he was saying earlier, revolutionary. I know this is a thing, and we want you to be a part of that. So in every way, just strap in, hold on, because while this may have gone dark, it doesn't get ever less intense or less illuminating in everything you're going to learn as we go through this tech and our experience.
Well, and so I think that this actually really feels like a great place to wrap this origin story up. But let's tell the people what they can expect from this podcast, because I'm not going to always be on here.
Right.
Interviewing you or
Right.
having a conversation with you. There will
Right.
be times when I do. There will be times when somebody else sits here.
Right.
But this is truly a podcast dedicated to fundability, to letting the secrets of fundability out and sharing them with the entire country, kind of the world in some ways, but
we will get there.
But the entire
tech
country
we have,
now, for sure, right?
Yeah.
The U.S. being the country.
We're broadcasting live from Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
Utah, United States of America.
Wow. Yeah, but so anyway, but it's going to be sharing the secrets, right? Like how to have the ideal or the right
Yep.
personal credit identity.
Yeah.
You know,
So
what are
much.
what are the
juice.
right cards to have in a profile to be fundable for business? And I mean, one of the things that we have always taught ever since I've known you, you've used the reference of landmines.
Yes.
Right? I would imagine this podcast is going to have a lot of how to avoid
Mine detectors.
Yeah, a lot of mine detectors, right?
Yep.
A lot of like you're standing about to step on a landmine, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like if you have the wrong business entity name as a real estate investor or as a business owner, you've already shot yourself in the foot, because hate to tell you guys, the bureaus, banks, FICO, they're all running on artificial intelligence. What do they let you do? You have to fill out an application by hand, whether it's online or on a piece of paper. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's the same equivalent. And then you give them your piece of paper, and they plug it into an artificial intelligence system known as an automatic underwriting system as the first step. And if you have anything that's not proper,
perfect, lined, or in alignment with their funding guidelines, you get denied.
Yeah.
Right?
You get
Or
denied.
significantly limited in, instead of getting a 50 credit line, you get a 10.
Oh my gosh! And I can tell you story after story. Merrill can tell you story after story of people who even we're going to tell you a story one of these times about, and we will never disclose our clients, just so you guys know, we will hold them sacrosanct. But we're going to tell you a story because it's relevant, it's pertinent, it'll help you guys in your fundability and your path to getting the money you need to do whatever it is you're trying to do, that makes 8 figures annually, and decided that what we were saying, he was impatient. Let's just say he was impatient.
He was impatient.
And he got denied on a loan that he should have been approved a bunch for. But he did some things. I'm not going to go any further into it. He did some things that we would not have recommended, and that in fact we teach and coach against. And we're going to share those with you so you don't make that same mistake.
Landmines, because he literally just stepped on the landmines.
Yeah.
And we have some great, I mean, guys, this is us literally sharing the secrets.
Yeah.
I mean, the secrets of fundability, so that when you finish each podcast, you will have actionable intel to go read it on our blog, so you can spend some time with it. The links necessary, the stuff that you need to be able to make intelligent and powerful financial decisions for the rest of your life. This is no joke.
Well, and so on that note, where else can people find you?
Oh, well, you can find us at fundinghackers.com.
Yes.
Oh, fundinghackers.com. I have there's also fundinghackers.com/book. There's the book is
Yeah, Merrill's got a book.
Yep.
We're minutes away from releasing it.
Yeah, we have, so many of you are going to watch this. It's already out, and maybe already on the New York and Amazon bestseller list. I'm just saying.
It might be.
But it's all about, are you effable or just effed, right? So the podcast and the book, the book, remember, is, we can only say so much in a book that's the 1,000-foot view. This is boots on the ground, in the weeds, hacking and whacking your way to fundability, and then finding the path that we've already cleared for you.
Yeah.
So
now, in addition to fundinghackers.com, you can go to fundinghackers.com/blog. That'll get you to the blog where you'll be able to see this episode and any other episodes that we have created and up. You can also go to our Facebook page. Right now, it is still under CreditSense as of this recording. If you type in CreditSense and you can't find it, that means we've already switched. And now it's the Funding Hackers Facebook page.
Yes.
And that will be the same on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to make these transitions, but we're going to do it slowly. So depending on when you hear this, those are the places you can find us, follow us, like us. We do Facebook Lives that are going to be different than podcasts. We do some that will maybe be a podcast. Who knows? But guys, that's where you can find us. We are excited. I know I'm excited for this to take off.
The launch.
This is the catalyst to so many great things and being able to help so many people that we've never been able to help before. So I'm stoked that we've got episode 1
already
ready to be wrapped up. You have no idea how long this is taking.
It's taken. Now, and guys, I want to wrap it up by simply saying thank you for sharing this moment. I may have lost 75% of you. I may have gained 40% more because you're saying, holy shit, you got to listen to this guy. He just went to prison. So whatever your reason for being here, heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul, this is going to change your life. It has changed my life. It has changed Brad's life, every member of our team, every member of our clients. And we opened it up last year to students in the boot camps.
Yep.
It is a tsunami that is going to empower borrowers to change how they believe about money and how fundable you are and the types of things that you can do as a result of what you're learning here. So just heart to heart, guys. I love what I do. I love my team. I love everybody who has believed enough to just try it out, and then they don't give a shit about us. It's like, this shit works. Right? I love this stuff, right? So become a fan, follow us, and wait for the next episode. They're just going to be. I'm an episode churning machine. So thanks to this guy.
So yeah, I don't know about that, but tune in next time. Share this podcast with your friends because you know somebody that needs to be fundable or needs to have money to do something in their business, in their life, in their investing that they haven't been able to get. So share this with somebody and tune in. We'll see you next time. Make sure you download it, right?
Yeah.
Some
we get
bonus
props.
points.
We get juice.
Downloads.
You're going to hear about juice all the time.
Yeah.
And the juice is worth a squeeze.
Yeah.
But
So
we get
subscribe,
juice.
download, and we will see you on the next Are You Effable podcast.
Whoop. Hey guys, thank you for listening to Are You Effable? Please leave comments because I would love to read about your aha moments from this episode. And be sure to visit fundinghackers.com to view the blog post, get important links, join our community, and much, much more. And you gotta tell your friends about this podcast. We want them to become effable too.